Alright, time to field some more questions, so let's get into it. Hi, I am interested in your use of movies to show examples of what you are discussing. I have for a long while been noticing more and more the seemingly obvious and blatant use of entertainment to deliver messages or lessons. I wonder if you have further info on this where I could study this further. Not really. I mean, all I do is sit down, record myself talking to all of you, import the audio into a video editing program, and throw a picture up. Of course, sometimes I'll put up a little illustration or graph to emphasize a point, but other than that, that's really all I do. Other than your favorite search engine, I wouldn't even know where to begin on that, other than using certain symbolism or colors to establish mood, etc. But I appreciate the question. My videos really aren't all that involved in video production, you know what I mean? They're about as simple and basic as you can get. Just me doing a voiceover to a picture. So, there you go. Greetings, Frater Xavier. In your Banishing Entities re-upload, you mentioned Phil at the Witch School and said that a link to his page was located on your YouTube channel About page. I looked and did not find the link. I searched YouTube for Witch School and got a lot of results, but none that looked like Phil's page. If you could please send me the link to Phil's page, I would greatly appreciate it, as I need supplies from a trusted source. Thanks in advance. Smile. Blessings. And blessings to you. Yes, my page is linked to Birch's Witch School. It's under featured channels. His channel is Freak Phil 1309. And the reason you're not finding it under Witch School is because school is spelled S-K-E-W-L. I apologize for the confusion, and also in the time it took to get back to you, because that's how deep in questions I am. It's like shoveling the driveway lately. As soon as I clear off some, it starts snowing again. I appreciate the question, and I'm sure our good friend Uncle Birch at the Sacred Grove appreciates it too. Thank you. Hello again. As a new initiate to magic, I have limited time looking at the world from the knowledge of the magical element. It is apparent that there is a power in the world well established and highly sophisticated in its ability to sway the tides of influence. It is sitting on the nodes of the planet and harboring the planetary energy. What do we make of this as an individual who is learning to harbor his inner planetary energy? I dare not attempt to sway those energies unless I am well prepared. Alright, look, I couldn't help but to read that in like dramatic fashion, because that's exactly as it comes across. This is like really dramatic. You made me laugh, so I'm going to go easy on you here. But this is another case of putting the cart before the horse. You're a new initiate to magic, and you're worried about swaying the energies of the planet. Yes, we are made up of planetary energy. It does influence us, and it does affect us. But you're learning now to create your own reality in the way that you want it created. And yet you're worried about things that are out of your control. As a new initiate to magic, you're not going to sway the entire energy of the planet. You're not going to dictate global policies and throw everything out of balance. Okay? It's not, you've got a long way to go. You should be focusing on the things that you can control and your own reality, and start constructing things on that scale. balance your own energy first before you start worrying about the energies of the entire earth, okay? You're concerning yourself with powers other than your own. And when you do that, you're not going to achieve anything. My mind is heavily on the Vatican and its role. What are your thoughts on the Vatican, its magical function? How does it utilize the 7 Hermetic principles? And what are the dangers or benefits of channeling into that energy? Are there other powers in the shadows not known? Perhaps the Brotherhood of the Snake. I don't wish to distract or take your time if it is not desired, so please respond only if it is of interest. Best regards, and best regards to you. It is of interest because I want to help you get started as a new initiate of magic. And as a new initiate of magic, why are you focusing on the Vatican? Again, that's something out of your control. I mean, even if you went and visited the Vatican, they're not going to take you in the back and show you all their secrets, are they? It's all speculation. However, they do have a giant statue of a pine cone representative of the pineal gland, which is the third eye. I mean, the Vatican does know magic and are very powerful indeed. But of what concern is that to you? Because at the end of the day, it's not going to benefit you at all. It's merely going to be time wasted speculating on something that you cannot control and have no influence on whatsoever. I don't know what they're doing in the Vatican. I'm not even Catholic. For me to tell you what they're doing would merely be hearsay. It's apparent to me that they know magic because of the symbolism that they use. But aside from that, I don't know. And it would be a waste of my time dwelling on it. So my advice is don't waste your time. Whether it be dwelling on the Vatican, the Illuminati, New World Order conspiracies, even if they're true, they're still distractions getting you to focus on the things you can't control instead of focusing on your own life and the things you can control. As a new initiate of magic, you should especially be focusing on your own reality and the things that you can control within your own reality. And then maybe someday you'll gain enough influence to affect even more. And that kind of mindset is addictive. It's just like any other pattern of thought that is a habit. So you're going to have to make a conscious effort to get yourself away from that kind of thing. Because for a lack of a better phrase, it's all just mental masturbation. It's like the adolescent teenage boy who can't get his mind off of sex and girls. No matter how hard he tries, his mind always goes back to that. Many, many times a day. You know, you have to get yourself away from that line of thinking. So anytime a thought of the Vatican pops up and you're wanting to really daydream, basically, about that and speculate, remind yourself to focus on that which you can control and your own studies. And if you can do that, you'll start to progress fairly rapidly because you'll actually be moving in a direction instead of standing still. I appreciate the question and the laugh. I'm not making fun of you. I hope that you can see that I'm really trying to assist you here. And best of luck with that. As I'm practicing the art of yes and no and the middle pillar ritual, I've begun to notice some really interesting things that are happening. I'm getting to see how polarized I am, where the unbalances are. I'm doing this by reading articles on issues going on, events that are happening, that kind of thing. I want to know where I'm polarized and take care of it. They don't seem to be all in one place. Okay, would make a picture of the tree of life and then draw a person over it and then map where the polarization in relation to those spheres, where the connections to the opposite terminal on the tree of life. I apologize for not knowing the names yet of the parts. I know that will come with time as the connections with them become clear. Anyway, what I'm seeing is that the polarizations don't go in a straight line. It makes me look like a tree. When things like this happen, am I looking at my true self? Is that what that is? Because when the emotional blockage remover kicks in, I keep seeing the trunk of a tree and the root system. The emotional blocks look like these little ball thingies on the roots, like in nature when there's a nodule problem on the root system. Does this mean that inside this human body that I'm a tree? No, you're not a tree. Is it normal for people to see stuff like this? I'm just watching this and going with the flow. I feel with it. All of the early work, base work, is acting the same way. Is this normal? You're seeing a symbolic representation. The spirit likes to communicate with metaphor. So metaphorically, you are a tree, but in reality, you're not a tree. I would take it as a sign to continue doing your work. I wouldn't let your conscious mind get carried away and confused with it. If the practices are continued, they will do the job on their own. There's no need to overthink it, for much of the same reasons where I answered the previous question. You may have a lot of blocks, but people get into this and they're expecting a lifetime of all these things to be worked out instantaneously within a couple sessions, and that's not the case. It's true that it can come all at once, but it may take you a while before it comes all at once. So just stick with your same practice because it's obviously having an effect on you. And as you do, these things will work themselves out. And I appreciate the question. Thank you. Can I send this channel to my sister, or does that mean I'm breaking the silence? Oh, that's kind of a judgment call, because you're not really discussing any ongoing operations or magical affiliations other than you're interested in this type of thing. That doesn't mean that they won't look at you funny when you do share it. It really depends on how you think she'll react. People share my channel all the time. In fact, its growth relies upon it because I'm not out there sharing this channel. And I've yet to have someone come to me and say, oh crap, I shouldn't have shared your channel. So I have no problem with you sharing the channel. And I wouldn't say it's breaking the law of silence unless you feel it's breaking the law of silence. Meaning that you should take into consideration how you think people are going to react and whether or not that's beneficial to you. Now, if you were to do some magic and then run and tell your sister about it before it manifests, then that would definitely be breaking the law of silence. Generally, the more hush-hush you are, the better off you usually are. But if you feel you need to share this channel, go for it. We got around 175 new subscribers this week, and we've just passed 4,000 just a little bit ago. They're coming from somewhere, and I'm not doing any advertising or sharing of the channel. Although I am doing magic to support this channel, I assume that other people are sharing the channel. It is a good question. I appreciate it. I have an idea on something I find very interesting. The study of alien cults like Heaven's Gate, Scientology, and information on the Greys and other extraterrestrial, and how some groups and orders and how they use these beings in spiritual working. Just a thought. I know this is random. Sorry. Oh, don't be sorry. You don't have to be sorry. Just recognize that it is random thought and work on it not being so random, because everything begins in the mind. And if the mind is pinging around all over the place and having a hard time focusing, how much more difficult is it going to be for you to accomplish things? Many of you may remember when the topic was brought up on the astral, and I said that there are far too many people in the astral, that they need to get their head out of the clouds and come back down to earth. This is what I'm talking about. This is the same thing that I just answered with the question on the Vatican. Extraterrestrials may be interesting, but it's still all just speculation. Unless they're coming down and abducting you at night, and even then all you're going to have to show for it is, possibly being probed. In order to manifest things, we have to be centered, grounded, and focused. And not only that, but it helps to expand your awareness. Because when the mind is focused upon all these distractions that it cannot control, it's very difficult to be aware of anything real that is right in front of you. I know there's a lot of talk in the community about expanding your consciousness and expanding your awareness, and this is the first step, right here. Focus on what you're doing and what you want to do, and taking control of the things that you can control. And everything else is distraction. And don't be sorry for the randomness of the question. There's nothing wrong with any of these questions. For how are you to see that you are in need of focusing if you're not aware that you're unfocused? I appreciate any and all questions, even the random ones. So thank you. And it looks like that will about do it for today. I know we didn't get through too many questions. Some of them were a bit longer. And once you get me on a roll and get me on something that I'm passionate about, next thing you know, I'm 17 minutes in. I do appreciate all the help and support that everyone's given me in this channel through asking questions and sharing this channel, and the flood of new subscribers that we've been getting, all of which is incredibly awesome. I'm up to recording 5 days a week now, creating content for this channel as well as Laws of Magic subscription series and the new project that I am working on, along with my own practice and clients and shoveling snow. Has kept me very, very busy, and so I do appreciate all the support. Anyone wishing to further that support, there is a support button on my channel on the right hand side that will help keep me in candles for those inclined and able to afford it. I used to just put the little button inside the video itself with the interactive cards, but YouTube has taken that feature away from me for some reason out of the blue. And so the only way that I can let people know that it's there is by saying so. It doesn't really matter. We're doing fairly well as it is, but it is an option for those who are looking for another option to support the channel. We have another Laws of Magic video later this week, and for the rest of you, I will see you all next time. Take care.